in Nigeria. And to make that point very, very clear, we've had 25 days of spaces just saying one simple message, communicating one simple message: go mad, get organized to make election rigging difficult. We are honored to have, like I said, that will join this space very soon. His Excellency Peter Obi that will be joining this space very soon. And also currently in the room, the Labour Party governorship candidate for Anambra State, Chief George Moghalu. Tonight, we're not just talking about politics. We're going to be talking about mobilization and how every single polling unit in Anambra needs to be protected and delivered. I want to set the context before we start and dive into this rich conversation. Why is Anambra very important? Anambra historically has been a hub for Igbo politics and progressive governance. And it's a testing ground for us ahead of 27 elections. Because we've been talking about how we want to organize, how we need to deliver, how obedience are strong, all of those things. Anambra is the home state of our candidate in 27 election. If we do not go there and deliver Anambra, we would not have achieved or set the pace for what will happen in 27. All the different plans and ideas that we have for 27, we need to go to Anambra to execute them. So Anambra is a testing ground in terms of the strength of this community. So it's super important that Anambra is a state that we win. Anambra has over 2.6 million registered voters, and young people make up 60% of the voting bloc in Anambra State. I want this number to stick to our minds. 60%, 2.6 million registered voters. And the Obidient movement is a movement filled with young people. 60%. The last governorship election was won by around 120 voters. So it means that if 60% of Obedience wake up and decide that, you know what, Anambra is a state we need to win, we're going to win that state. And so Anambra is important. And so despite some form of turnout in the last election, we understood that the results were being, in the 2023 elections in general, there were rigging, vote suppression, and institutional weaknesses that plagued 2023 elections generally. And we know that voter apathy is a problem. It's a serious problem in the Southeast. It's a serious challenge. Even though His Excellency won Anambra State in the last election, it's something we need to address. Like I said, we have 2.6 million voters. Only around 120 was what enabled the current governor to win the election. So there's a lot of work that we need to do in Anambra State. There are around 5,000 polling units in Anambra State, and if we're able to mobilize 5,000 obedience to across all these polling units and ensure that the message of delivering our word becomes the mainstay, we would have achieved significant results. We would have achieved success. And so that's why this space is important. We've been having this space for the last couple of days to really drill down this message, that we need to deliver our polling units. And to do that, technology and mobilization is very critical. We have the obedience.com platform, a very powerful platform for mobilization, a very platform for engagement. There's a need for everyone to pull their hands together to ensure we deliver Anambra State. Now, but before we dive in to start bringing up our guest for today, Dr. George Moghalu, I'm going to bring up Dr. Tanko, the National Coordinator of the Obedient Movement, to say a few words to charge the room while we wait for His Excellency to come on stage. So, Dr. Tanko, are you there? Just confirm you can hear us. Dr. Tanko, confirm if you can hear us, because you're currently a speaker and you can unmute. Okay, Mr. Tanko, can you hear us? So, Kamal, I want to confirm. If you can hear me. Maurice, can you hear me? Just to confirm, I'm not speaking to myself.
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Dr. Tanko, please, the floor is over to you.
I can hear you, Senator. Good evening.
Yes, thank you very much. Dr. Tanko, over to you, please, to set the stage and context for this meeting. Thank you. Much further. Oh dear, we've lost Dr. Tanko.
Yes, I think he's having a network challenge.
Okay, it's having a bit of a network challenge. Let's see. So I think it's having a bit of a network challenge. I want to confirm if Jack is on the call.
I've not seen Jack here.
Okay, Jack is not on the call yet.
No,
Okay.
probably let me
Let
send
me
a
see if we
message.
can. Okay, thank you very much. So, come on, please try to get Dr. Tanko back on in case if he's having a bit of a technical challenge. Let's see if we can get
Yes,
him.
I'm on it.
Okay, good. Yes. So before we bring up our guest, our speaker, I would like Dr. Tanko to say a couple of words before we bring him on. But in the meantime, David, I want to just throw the question to you. What are your expectations from Obidient regarding the elections that will be happening in Anambra State? What are your expectations, your hope? Or let me throw the question to Maurice. Maurice is the mobilization director of the Obidient movement. Maurice, just confirm if you can hear me, please. Maurice, can you hear me? I think Maurice is also having a technical issue. So I'll throw it over to you, David, please. David, what are your expectations for the movement in Anambra State as we enter the next elections?
All right, thank you very much, Century. I think you said pretty much some of the things that we should expect. Anambra is very, very important, right? It's not just the fact that it is PO's home state. It is about the precedents that we've seen, especially from the by-election, right? What happened, especially as regards vote buying and rigging. And so, if the election that will happen in November follows through, what it means is it's going to one affect the spirit of a lot of voters, dampen their spirit, and also it's going to cast doubt in the electoral process. Ahead, of course, and of course, when people have doubt about in the electoral process, what happens is it causes apathy, and then there will be low turnout of voters on the election day. So Anambra election, the November 11th, yeah, Anambra election is very, very key. All right. I have been able to speak with a few persons who have been on ground mobilizing, all right, and trying to galvanize support for Mr. Moghalu, because personally, I have said it severally. Those who know me, on the page, on X, especially, know that I have given my time and my effort to campaigning for Mr. George Moghalu because of so many reasons, which are very germane. All right. Number one is the failure of the current government in Anambra State. All right. I am very, very disappointed in the governor in the sense that he has not been able to even live up to 15%, I would say, if I should give him mark, of the election or electoral promises he made before the election. Insecurity is rife. If you go to places like Ihiala local government, Anambra South, in fact, the one that had just happened in Onitsha, right, where Mr. Moghalu was even present. He had to suspend his campaign to go and pay visit, right? Insecurity has been rife, right? Anambra South is pretty much insecure. My proprietor in my secondary school has been missing for the past 2 years, or close to 2 years, I would say. My alma mater school, was burnt down, all right, by by thugs, I would say, and the entire Ihia local government has been overrun by insecurity. All right, that is one. Number two, the state of economy in Anambra State has nothing to. I mean, the governor, since for over 4 years, have not been able to attract an investor. All right, and then a state of roads, infrastructure, and all that. So Anambra has really suffered bad governance, to put it mildly, in the past 4 years, and there is a need to make a replacement in November. That is one. Number two, the tyrannical approach of the governor, and then he's boasting that it will be impossible to replace him, is one thing that sort of has pricked me. Why would the governor, in spite performing very woefully, be boasting about being that nobody can challenge his candidacy in the coming election. So I really want the governor's candidacy to be challenged, not just challenged, to be replaced, right? To show proof that one man cannot come in as much as with the bad governance, and you still insist or sort of still um boast of your continuity regardless of the bad performance you have shown. All right. And then thirdly, what happened in the by-election, like I said, the vote buying, vote rigging, I want all that to be conquered in the November election, to set a precedence for what will happen in 2027. All right. And if we do not get it right, it's going to affect in a large scale. All right, not just Anambra voters, but across the nation, because it's going to be spoken out. I mean, it's spoken about loudly, across the country, that this is the home state of our principal, Mr. Peter Obi, that it is a state where such a thing happened in terms of vote buying, in terms of rigging, that in spite of the mouth we made in on online or social media, we are not able to show force, show presence on the day of the election. All right, so we really need to use this election as a template, right, to build up on what is going to happen in 2027.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, David. I really agree with you with the concept that we have to use as a template. We already have the infrastructure already in terms of technology. We have the infrastructure in terms of obedience, a state structure, a collegiate state structure in Anambra State. So obedience are on ground. We have support groups in Anambra State. And Dr. Tanko is going to provide some form of context in terms of the obedient movement and its interest in Dr. George Moghalu's campaign, and what we are hoping to see, and what we should be expecting on the ground come November. Dr. Tanko, are you on the call? And also, once you're done speaking, you will then introduce our speaker, our guest for today, Dr. George. Dr. Tanko, are you on the call, please? Just confirm if you can mute. And what we are hoping to see, and what we should be expecting on the ground come November. Dr. Tanko, are you on the call? And also, once you're done speaking, you will then introduce our speaker, our guest for today, Dr. George. Dr. Tanko, are you on the call, please? Just
Okay. Can you hear me?
What we're hoping to see. Yes,
Yes,
Can
sir,
you
we
hear
can
me?
hear you clearly, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
We
Go
can
ahead,
hear you,
sir.
sir.
Once you're done speaking, you then introduce our speaker.
Okay, if you're not speaking, mute your mic. It's affecting the frequency.
Yes, I'm on the call. Can you hear me?
Yes,
We can hear you very clearly, sir.
we
Okay.
can hear you very clearly. In case,
Okay,
just
thank
make sure
you
you don't
very
have
much for the
another device close to you.
honor. Ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I'm on the
So, Dr. Tanko, ensure you don't have another device with you because there's an echo from your end. Dr. Tanko, just ensure you don't have another device with you. Yes, we can hear
Hello.
you. Go ahead, sir. We can hear you now. Go ahead.
Hello.
So, Dr. Tanko, ensure you don't have another device with you. There's an echo from your end.
Yeah, but can you hear me now?
Dr. Tanko, just ensure you don't have another device. Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Okay.
Yes, we.
Century, can you still hear Dr. Tanko? I can't hear anything from him.
Same me as well. I'm just trying to see if he's trying to speak. Dr. Tanko, can you hear us? Okay. While we wait for Dr. Tanko to come on, Maurice, do you have anything to add to this conversation? Maurice, just confirm if you can hear us.
Yeah, I can hear you. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I've been battling this network
We
for
can
the
hear you.
last 15 minutes. All right. Thank you very much for this space. It's our pleasure to meet the gubernatorial candidates for Anambra State. Um, it's going to be a very, very interesting journey in the build up to November 11. So, from next month, we'll move to Anambra State to ensure that we have our people on ground for the structure Sorry. We keep making the mistake of November 11. The election is on November 8. November 8.
It's 8. Okay. All right. That's fine. Thank you very much for the correction. So we have about 5,000 polling units, and we have about 2 million registered voters in Anambra State. But the people who decide the governorship election in every election is about 100,000, 200,000. And that's because the question of voter apathy. So the issue for us is to galvanize our base, the obedience base in Anambra State, who are very, very loyal to the message that we obedience are sharing. We need to galvanize that base in Anambra State to come out. We need just 500,000 obedience in Anambra State to swing this election for us. So I myself, on ground with a few of my team, will chart a course to ensure that we not only galvanize people on ground, we protect votes, because we are aware that the current man on ground has a romance with the APC, so they are teaching him how to, do all sorts. We are not unaware of their tactics. So the idea is not only just to get our people out, is to also protect votes on that day. So we'll come down probably, I'll talk to Tankosha, probably October or so, we'll be on ground to see how we can map out a course. It's doable, it's winnable, we can win this. It's very, very winnable. And yeah, that's it really. So I want to congratulate Dr. Moghalu. I've never met you before, we've never spoken, but very close, all good. That's how we do our things. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I thank you very much, Maurice, for your statement. I mean, while we wait for Dr. Tanko, we need to kickstart the ship. We need to get the ship going. I think at this point, we would like to bring up Dr. George Moghalu to make a case for himself. I mean, he's here to meet the obedient movement. He's here to engage with us. He's here to let us know why we should support him. I mean, we've had Maurice. Please, can you mute yourself, please? Okay, Maurice, you're muted. Yes, thank you very much. So, just to set the context, why this space is very important. The obedient movement is a unique breed of people, and one of the things that unites us is a commitment and the love that we have for our principal, His Excellency. And that love is a love that has been tested as a result of the work that he has done in same Anambra State. He has made us believe that he can deliver. And while he has endorsed you, while he has to a large degree backed your campaign, we want to understand what he saw in you. We want to understand your agenda. We want to understand what you stand for, what you believe in, the kind of value that you would be bringing in Anambra State, and why obedience, beyond just the idea that we want to secure Anambra State against 27 elections. Beyond just that, why should we, as obedience, root for you? What kind of new Nigeria are you going to deliver in Anambra State? So I would just want to open the floor just for you to set that opening space to say one or two words regarding to make a case for your candidacy, while we try to get Dr. Tanko's
Sorry,
technology to be
I thought
addressed.
Dr. Tanko is back. Dr. Tanko is back online.
Dr. Tanko, can you hear us? Are you back?
Yes,
I
he's
can
back.
hear you now.
Okay, good. Welcome back. So, Dr. John, before you speak, let's just share from Dr. Tanko. Go ahead, Dr. Tanko. Thank you. And set the
Thank you.
stage. Yeah.
I'm sorry for the normal glitch that happened in our Nigerian society. Nigeria was trying to happen to me, but I think I got a lot of resistance with the obedient movement spirit behind me. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so very much, and to all of the things that we have been able to do. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very important meeting. Very important in the case that the obedient movement is trying to make a statement, and the statement is coming in respect of Mr. George Peter Obi. Anambra is a litmus test. We want to try to put in place into work, meaning that
locking down all the rights movement, letting everybody know that we are on ground. And this is where all of our study and energy together. There's no dissipating of energy. We cannot dilly down. Some people are saying yes, obedience are everywhere in different political groups. Yes, but once they are in a different political group, but their target is one person. At this point, he has told us that the person that is running for the governorship of Anambra, George Moghalu, and give him all the strength that is required. We've had series of meetings. We've come to an agreement. We are marching down to Anambra. Every neighboring state within the 5 states in the zone have already been intimated. We want everybody to start changing the narrative. Use your phone or even any of your the people of Anambra feel the buzz that the obedient movement are marching, ensure that they vote for their own candidate. We must be able to be seen, not only to be heard on social media. No, we want to put boots on ground, and we are ready to welcome all ideas. We are going to have our own situation room. We are going to produce the result at real time because our obedient.com website gave us that opportunity. If you are an Anambarian or if you believe in this particular cause, go and open your own voting blocks in that area so that everybody will be energized. Do not be intimidated. Do not feel afraid of anything. We are all Nigerians. So if we believe that we can do this, all of us must come together and join forces together. Do not relent. If you have any idea, please be ready. We are going to be listening to you. We have always been listening to you. We want this thing to work. Let's put this energy to work in Anambra by November 8th. Even before that time, we are going to hit the town. So watch out for all the information that we are going to be giving and dishing out to you. Be aligned. Talk about this particular election. Let's win this election together. God bless you. Mr. Moghalu, you have the floor.
Thank you so very much, leader, Dr. Tanko. Let me begin by thanking God Almighty who has made this meeting possible and to thank every one of you for joining in. I remain eternally grateful to our leader, His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, for the support and the love he has demonstrated towards me and my candidacy, and also to thank the Obedient movement for their support and their encouragement. I feel very, very encouraged anytime I join any of the Obedient movement meetings. And then I hear the comments of people, I get the assurances of their support and their encouragement. I feel strengthened. So I'm eternally grateful. There's no doubt as to the fact that Anambra state election is very critical in our overall agenda. It's an opportunity for us to make a statement. But I need also to put on record a few of the facts. Moments ago, various numbers were mentioned with regards to the polling units. And then various numbers was also mentioned with regards to the number of registered voters. As at the last count, without including the recent registration, continuous voters registration that was done, Anambra State had over 2.8 million registered voters, so not 2.6. And then with this continuous voters registration that took place in Anambra State from the records INEC published was about 195,000. So invariably speaking, we are approaching very closely, if we haven't gotten there, the 3 million mark registered voters. And in the last election, the governor was elected with 112,000 votes or thereabout. So that also goes to show, like one of us did say, the level of apathy in our Anambra state. So for us, the work there is to get out our people. I have said it time and time again that because of the experiences our people have had in the past, that they have lost confidence in government. They see government as a fraud. They see government as dishonest. They see every politician as somebody you cannot trust. And for me, that is a major concern. And that is why I've set that as a target for myself to change the narrative. And the only way one can do that is to bring good governance to the people, get the people to participate in their government, get them to be fully involved, run a transparent system, a dependable system, and make government accessible to the people. Once you do this, you will restore the confidence of the people in their government, and they will be able to participate in future elections, and they will also be able to help you in the discharge of the responsibility of the office you're occupying. So for me, it's a major assignment, and I have set my mind to achieving that. Having said that, the basic question anybody will ask is, why does he want to be governor? I have said it time and time again that I want to be governor because I want to change the narrative. I want to do things properly. I want to do things the way they should be done in a civilized society. I want to run a transparent government. I want to do better than our leader, Peter Obi, who we all acknowledge did very well while he was governor of the state. As we speak now, when Peter was governor of Anambra State, Anambra State was coming either first or second in every education competition. But most regrettably, the last NECO results that was released, Anambra State came a far 23rd position, which is unheard of. That is also a clear sign that our education has collapsed and something drastic has to be done. But today in Anambra State, our biggest challenge, like somebody said in the course of this discussion, is insecurity. And then every one of us knows that there is no way an economy can grow or be developed in an insecure environment. That is why our present government has won the badge of the government that was unable to get $1 investment into our state in the first 4 years of the administration, which is very sad. And we have also identified the fact that we need to resolve the issue of insecurity. And there are many ways we have planned to do this. It's contained in our manifesto, but I also believe that there are basic things that we can do to change the narrative. We must look at the issue of insecurity from both the kinetic and non-kinetic perspectives. As we are addressing what caused it, we also be providing a solution to what can be done to change the current situation as it is. Today, it is unsafe to travel in Anambra State. It is unsafe to go from one location to the other. It is unsafe. Even the state capital is under threat. Apart from the issue of unknown gunmen, today every day you have one story about cult activities within the state, and people are killed. Like somebody rightly said, even the state architecture is such that something is fundamentally wrong. Few days ago, it's all over in the news, and I had to visit Onitsha, and I even suspended my campaign. Armed people who were supposed to be working in what they call a brigade, a brigade that is intended, like I was told, for the cleanliness of the society, has turned to be armed thugs. And they entered into the market, and before you could say Jack Robinson, 4 people were killed, including a pregnant woman. So this is sad. We also have been on the news, if you recall, not long ago, the one they call Dogachi or whatever security outfit they have, brutalized a National Youth Corps member. A young lady on national assignment was thoroughly brutalized, her ego destroyed, stark naked. This girl who we are talking about is somebody's daughter. She's going to be somebody's wife. She's somebody's sister. And then in this era where everything is documented in social media, you subject such a young girl to such level of disgrace and destroying her ego and her image, forgetting that these incidents have been recorded and can be used against her in the days ahead. We found ourselves, and something has to be done. Somebody asked me a very interesting question. If you become governor, what are you going to do? And how long are you going to address the issue of insecurity? I said, I'm going to resolve the issue of insecurity between the first 3 to 6 months of my administration as governor, if it pleases God. Because what can be done, I will now tell you what can be done. One, if we now want to address the issue of insecurity, we will start from the local vigilantes that we have in every of the 179 communities in our state. We document them. We properly train them, we equip them, and then we remunerate them well. We have a situation where vigilantes are paid between 10 and 20,000, and you arm such a person. What you have succeeded in doing is to create an armed robber. You have only licensed somebody to go and extort money from the indigents who is supposed to protect. So that is how we are going to get our vigilantes properly documented, properly trained, properly equipped, and properly remunerated. Once you do that, you have a semblance of a state police. If they are well paid, even young graduates who want to join the state police, that's the state vigilantes in their various local governments, because every community has one. And by the time you localize it, what you have succeeded in doing is creating community policing. You involve the traditional institution, you involve the PGs of the various communities. By the time you do that, you will resolve that. Government must invest in intelligence gathering. I said it, there is no explanation you can give to us for not having a command and control system in the state. Why? Nobody can give me any explanation that will convince me because we have all the resources. We have all what it takes to put it in place. Enugu State has done it, and we all can see the benefit that is accruing from such a policy decision. He's working in Enugu State. Why can't he work in Anambra State? The present government went and bought dilapidated buses, shuttle buses, Sienna vehicles, and given to security organizations. It's not, it shouldn't be so. Why can't we buy brand new pickups and link all of them by radio? Because if all of them are linked by radio and is distributed among the 179 communities, if you commit a crime in this community, before you get to the other community, the other community will be informed and you will be stopped. In that way, you can't move around. You see, one thing people keep forgetting is that every armed robber wants to go scot-free and enjoy the loot. And any moment they feel there's a threat or a possibility of them not going free from their activity, they will not get involved. So by the time we do that, we provide CCTV cameras at strategic locations in the state. We bring in technology. You can't fight modern warfare in the 21st century without bringing in technology. We must see banditry. We must see what is happening today, insecurity, as a modern warfare, and we must address it in that regard. Unless we do that, we cannot succeed. So we intend to do that. We intend to ensure that all what is required is put in place to make sure that things work well. So by the time you do these things, and again, there's a novel policy we want to introduce. Every policeman, every army man, everybody who is involved in security services within our state will be placed on a life insurance policy. We remove the burden from government. You provide them a life insurance policy, a policy that guarantees accommodation for the family for life, a policy that guarantees education for the children for life, a policy that encourages women empowerment so that the wives can have a job or have something to do. It may interest you to note that if a policeman dies in the course of duty, his family will be ejected from the barracks after 30 days. If you are the policeman, will you put your life on the line? You will not, because you know the consequence of such. But if your future is guaranteed to a reasonable extent, we may not be able to provide all your needs. But there are basic ones that have to be addressed, basic ones like accommodation, basic ones like education of the children, basic ones like empowering the wife to start doing something. If she's not employable, you provide her opportunity or resources for her to be able to start something. By the time you do that, you restore the confidence of the security agencies, and they will put in their best to be able to serve the state. So there's quite a lot we can do. And then you now go back and look at how do you stop generating the personnel that is used in these services. You now look at the issue of youth employment. There is unemployment today in the land because government has not invested in agriculture and the agricultural value chain. Our leader often says that we must come out from being a consumptive nation and look at production being a productive nation. It's also applicable in the States. We must invest in agriculture. We must create a scenario where we invest in the agricultural value chain because apart from feeding ourselves, it will provide us an opportunity to employ our teeming graduates. By the time we do this, a lot of people will be busy. And I don't mind it's a devil's workshop. So we must make sure that our young men who are being churned out of the universities are not idle minds. We must provide jobs for them. And again, we must tinker with our educational curricula. I have said it time and time again. We must de-emphasize certificated education. We must invest in vocational education. We must invest in craft. We must invest in training so that every graduate, be it secondary school graduate or be it university graduate, must have a skill. So that if there's no white collar job, you employ yourself. You work on your skill and be able to be an employer of labor. So we must look at all this. It's kind of interconnected. There is none you can do without the other. So if we address the issue of insecurity satisfactorily, it's going to impact very positively on the other aspects of governance. Then you look at our health situation in our state today. What we have is not what it should be. That's why a lot of us are surprised because the governor made a lot of promises in this regard. But up to today, nothing tangible has happened. Why can't we have primary health centers functional in the 179 communities of the state? It provides us an opportunity to even employ our young graduates in the medical profession. Why can't we have that? Why can't we develop a three-cornered medical system? That's what I call it in my manifesto. We dedicate Anambra North for orthopedic, we dedicate Oka Central for mother and child, we dedicate South for internal medicine that has to do with all these other sicknesses. If you do that, you build specialist hospitals. If there are hospitals already existing, you expand them, bring them to modern standards, fund them, equip them properly so that you can address the issue of medical tourism. Why can't other states come to our state for medical tourism? Why must we have to go overseas for things that can be done here? So there's quite a lot we think we want to do to change the narrative. We have talked about developing the IT sector, building IT hubs in the 3 senatorial zones of the state, building IT centers where people can be trained. Because we're in the modern century, we have entered we're in the 21st century, and then we need to get our people to be key into the IT age so that we can play a significant part in the new era of AI. So we need to get our people involved. We need to provide the enabling environment. One thing you can give to the Anambra man is that we're not lazy. The Anambra man requires only government support. If the government creates the enabling environment, the Anambra man will thrive. We are not people that are not serious-minded. Average Anambra man is a very serious-minded person who is determined to succeed. What you need to do is to provide them the opportunity. Look at power. Fortunately, power has been deregulated. Why is Anambra State coming late? Where states like Enugu have gone far in the issue of power generation and distribution. Central government has deregulated it. So any state can now set up their own standards, set up their own agenda. You must not build big power stations. Go to Japan. There are small power stations you can copy. You can bring them here to put power stations. We can do community power stations. It can never be too much. And by the time you set it, what our people require is every day, every hour light. 24/7, we provide them with electricity. And the moment we do that, we also will encourage production at various levels. And our people will be engaged. So there's quite a lot. I will make available, like I did before, I have made available a copy of our manifesto because we have a 12-point agenda, which we want to judiciously follow from day one. We are coming into this election fully prepared. We don't have a waiting period. We just come in and we start doing what we have told our people we will do. I have every confidence that by the grace of God, with the team we are going to assemble, because Anambra State has an abundance of human resource that we can tap into. We're going to assemble a team that will be accountable to the people, a team that want to be assessed by the judgment of history, a team that is determined to make history, a team that will align with my vision for a new Anambra state. And I believe strongly we can achieve it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for sharing with us your vision for Anambra State. Messi, I would like to open the floor for questions. So I would transfer the session to Messi and David to help coordinate questions for our candidate. Messi, are you there?
I'm here. Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I think Messi is not
Yes,
there. Yes.
no, I'm here. I'm here. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. George. You made a very wonderful, convincing speech. So, we would like to hear from people and would like to open the floor for questions. Before the questions start, please. Right now we have a lot of requests for people want to ask questions. So we are going to keep it as brief as possible, 1 minute max for our questions. So, Dr. George, if you don't mind, I'd like to go first with the question. So my question is,
You're welcome.
can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I said you're welcome. Go ahead.
Okay, my question is on governance and leadership credibility, values and integrity. What values will anchor your administration? How will you ensure transparency and accountability in public office? That's the first question. So I don't know. I have like 3 questions at the roll if you're jotting it down, so I could just take it through once.
You take the 3 questions.
Okay. So on anti-corruption, how will you dismantle the entrenched network of godfatherism, patronage, and corruption in Anambra politics? Then on public service reform, what reforms will you pursue to make the Anambra civil service more efficient, citizen oriented, and less prone to corruption? These are my questions, sir.
All right. Moderator, am I free to take the questions now?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Okay, fine. You see, governance and leadership, the matter of credibility and transparency is a challenge on the leadership. If you want oranges, you plant oranges. If you want apples, you plant apples. The leader, who in this instance is the governor, must demonstrate credibility. You must be transparent in all your dealings, because the moment you do that, everybody will toe your line. You can't say something different and do something different and expect a different result. If you are credible, if you are transparent, and then the team you put in place will also be credible and transparent, because they will be watching their leader to see where your direction goes. And the moment you're able to resolve that, the issue of credibility will manifest. See, when you run a transparent system, that's the beauty of it all. You are open to criticism, you're open to public assessment, you're open to questions. And this is what our people need. The moment they are able to be part of their government by being able to assess it, to being able to question it, they will now contribute and make sure you succeed, because it becomes a collective responsibility. Everybody will now be involved. And when you take this issue, you look at the person's past record. Fortunately for me, I've been able to hold responsible positions in government. My last one being the Managing Director, Chief Executive of National Inland Waterways. I challenge everybody, I challenge anybody to please go back and make inquiries about me. Ask how I ran that office. I ran a system where I take all my phone calls, I reply all my text messages. Nobody fills visitors form to see me. I am open to everybody. So I had an opportunity to have a direct feeling on how the people feel and what they think about me and my governance style. Okay, I made it a possibility that every officer of the company, from the least qualified, the security men, everybody had unguarded access to me. So I had a free feeling. Even outsiders from the local community where the head office was located, that's in Lokoja, had access to me. So once you are accessible, once you are open, and then they see that you're credible, you win their confidence, and they will all walk in line with your vision. So for me, I agree with you. That's what I intend to do. That's the kind of thing I want to bring to the governance of Anambra State. I will make the government open. I'll make it accessible. I will make it contributory to the extent that people will participate in their government so that they can be able to question anyone who is holding any responsible position of government. Then the second question is anti-corruption and the issue of godfatherism. I have never believed in godfatherism myself. And all through my life, to the glory of God, I have always said that God is my godfather. I am very, very strongly that I have God by my side, and anybody who is interested in partnering with me. That is why if you watch my campaign videos, you will hear me say it. I don't want those who want to work for me. I want those who will work with me. I want those who will partner with me, those who share my common interest. For me, it is about the people. If we are willing to put the people as the cornerstone of your program, please come on board and let us work together. All right? And then when people see that you're transparent, when people see that you are not nepotic, you don't bring in your family into your governance. When people see that you're straight, that people are appointed based on credibility and capacity and capability, when they see that you treat issues without thinking that this one is my own, the moment you do that, people will see you. And that is the biggest way to fight corruption. You must show example. And we're going to make sure that we strengthen the institutions. A situation where people become stronger than the institutions are not acceptable. And that is one of the biggest challenges we have in the country. We have strong men and strong women and very weak institutions. In Anambra State, we are going to strengthen the institutions, make everybody accountable. And by the time they see that the governor is accountable, everybody will sit up. Then efficient civil service, I've always said it and I intend to do it, we must bring in technology. We must bring in technology. You can't come to work by 10 o'clock and say you have worked for the day. If you come in by 8 and click on, and then you are recorded as having come, then you do your day's job. If you go, you know you have gone. So we're going to bring in technology because we see it as something that is efficient, and we're going to make it very efficient. And then we're going to invest in training. We're going to train the civil servant because if you train them properly, you make them more efficient. You get them properly trained, you get them properly equipped, and then you bring in technology, you will ensure efficiency of the civil service.
Oh,
Okay, thank you.
okay.
So we're going to take more questions from people.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we have Ogaranya. Ogaranya,
Okay,
yes,
Century,
Ogaranya, you have the floor to
1 minute.
ask your question.
Century, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, 1 minute, please. If you want to ask questions, just raise your hand so it'll be very orderly. And remember, we are limited to 1 minute each. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So Ogaranya, you have the floor to ask your question. 1 minute, please. Ogaranya, are you there? And so if you're from Anambra State, please would encourage you to request the mic so that you can ask your candidate a question. Ogaranya, you're not there. Nelson, can you hear us? Nelson, please go ahead and ask your question. Ogaranya, you've been given the mic to ask, but you're unable to unmute. Nelson, please, can you unmute and ask? Nelson Collins, can you hear us?
Yes,
Mercy, am
yes,
I the only one?
yes, I
Yes,
can.
Nelson, please go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity. I just want to ask the governor aspirant two questions. Number one is, we all understand unemployment and youth frustration are rising in Anambra. So beyond speeches, beyond less suspicion, what is your concrete plan to transform Anambra young population into wealth creators rather than job seekers? Like the plan to make them into wealth creators, not just job seekers. This is my number one question. My number two, if for any reason, if for any reason you cannot fulfill a major promise in your manifesto, Will you openly admit failure to the people and take responsibility, or you will shift the blame like other government we are seeing in APC? They always blame their current predecessors. That's my second question. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I will. The first question is about issue of unemployment and youth empowerment. How do we get it off our back? I have said it. We must create the enabling environment to engage the youths. There are opportunities that abound, but the point is that you have to make it. Government has to make it available. For example, I used agriculture as a case study, and I said that by the time government invests in the agricultural value chain, jobs will be created. You can empower youths by giving them opportunities, providing them the required resources to manifest their potentials. I also said that we are going to tinker with the education curricula to the extent that everybody will have a skill. And the moment you have a skill, you provide them with the seed funding. These young men and women will do exceedingly well. If you identify their potentials, you support them, you encourage them, be it in IT, be it, there are many things you can get them involved in, providing them the enabling environment, and they are going to succeed. So we have that intention. I don't believe in, like somebody, the other few days ago, somebody in the Federal House of Representatives, let me say his name, did empowerment, and what he provided was wheelbarrows for his people. I don't know what he intended when he was giving them wheelbarrows, whether for them to be truck pushers or whether I just don't know. Let me not talk about it. But I felt very disappointed that that is the way we are thinking. But I think that we should do a lot more in by way of empowering the youth. And you see, government must think out of the box. You cannot run university programs where you know that, for example, at the end of this year, 50,000 young men and women will graduate and have certificates. What do you intend them to do? Because government cannot employ. The opportunities in government in terms of employment is limited. It is the private sector that employs. And in a situation like we have in Anambra State, where the private sector is shutting down, where the government has not been able to attract one foreign investment, then there is a problem. So what you need to do is to think out of the box. How do you strengthen the private sector? How do you create the enabling environment for that area to grow and be stable? Because the moment they keep growing, they will be attracting people out of the challenge they have. So that is what we intend to do with regards to the issue of unemployment and youth empowerment. It's a major challenge and we must do something about it. As to whether I will take responsibility, the buck stops on my table. I will not shift responsibility. I will take full responsibility for any of my actions, for any failing in government. It is not cast in iron. We are going to do our best. You see, when you show sincerity, when you are committed, you will get the people's support. When you have a challenge, they will help you. But when you're distant from them, when they see you as a fraud, when they see you as dishonest, when they see you as disconnected from them, they will allow you to steal in your juice. But the moment you take them into confidence, they will work with you. And your vision will align with their own. So I will take full responsibility for any of our actions. It is a government that I'm heading. So if anything goes wrong, I should be able to take responsibility. If it goes well, I should also be able to take the credit. Because what you will hear is Moghalu's administration while he was governor of the state. Nobody will call you a commissioner and nobody will call you a predecessor. And as far as I'm concerned, government starts from the day I take over, not what happened behind my back. I won't waste my time and the state resources going to look at what has happened in the past.
Okay, Dr. George, can you hear us?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, we because we have a lot of requests and a lot of people on queue, so we're thinking if we could take 5 questions on a row and you give answer to all of them.
That's fine.
What do you think about?
It's okay with me.
Okay, okay, so that's fine. We have Victor. Victor, you have the floor, please. Okay, if Victor is not available, Valerie, can you?
I'm available. I'm trying to sort out my network.
Okay, sir. Thank you. 1 minute, please.
Let Valerie go. Let me sort out my network.
Okay, Valerie, you
Okay.
have the.
Yeah. Good evening, Dr. George Mohalu and everybody here. So just for me not to hog the mic, sir, I have two brief questions. So the first one is that we all know that the competition for Anambra governorship election is tough, you understand, from Soludo's incumbency and Ukachukwu's resources he has from APC. Do you think it is that obese effect that is going to get you there? Or what do you think makes you stand out from the other contestants? And then the second question is that what last efforts are you going to make to change people that are neutral to actually choose you to be their preferred candidate? Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Valerie. That was a very quick and straight to the point question. So, Alexander, you can go, please.
Good evening, Dr. George Moghalu. Good evening,
Good
everybody.
evening.
Okay, sir. I have just a simple question. The election now, you have fantastic manifesto. Everybody's impressed. I just want to ask, will you go the line of, should the election, if it doesn't favor you, will you go the line of going to courts? Will you toe that same line? Because we all know that most of the time when they go to court, nothing good comes out of it. When these people use their power of incumbency to want to subdue whatever challenges that comes up, would you be going to court? Thank you very much.
Um, Thank you so much, Alexander. Master P, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you very much, our leaders. Without wasting much of our time, I just have this question: inclusive governance. Uh, Dr. George, please, how will you ensure that women, youth, and people with disability are included in your administration, in your administration's decision and the leadership role? That is one. Two, what specific strategy do you have in place to protect both the voters and their votes and to ensure that the actual result reflects the will of the people? How do you intend to ensure transparency, accountability in your administration, especially in the management of state resources? What structure will you put in place to make sure citizens' voices, especially at the grassroots, are heard in policy decisions? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Master P, for that question. Okay, Ogaranya, I think you're back. If you can hear me, you have the mic. And please remember, we have limited time, so 1 minute is okay. Ogaranya, are you there?
Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Good evening, Dr. George.
Good evening.
Yeah, I've known you from your time in NIWA. Thanks for the good work you've done in NIWA. You've raised a lot of people to who they are today, and some of them are the current government. So thank you very much for the work you've done. Now, I want to come from a different perspective, because by election, I will use Igbo a little bit so they understand where I'm coming from. Now, this is a very serious election. It's a message, it's an election that is not just because of for winning sake. Election that the current government wants to use to point fingers or put fingers into the eye of Principal Peter Obi. So I'm going to be very direct on some very, very critical issues. Now, let's go down to the grassroots. Election is local. It is grassroots election. How are you going to fight what is going on or what the ABGA is putting up in the state, the machinery of the state? I will start back from one. I raised this issue before some days ago, that currently there is a conspiracy between INEC and the ruling party in the states. I'm very factual in what I'm saying. And the strategy is this. The 21 local government chairmen were mandated to compile the name of polling electoral officers, the polling officers and others. And what the local government chairman simply did was to go back to the list of electoral officers that were used to execute the last September 2024 local government elections in the state, because those ones were coached to deliver the elections for the state or for the ruling party in the state. And that list, as I speak, has been compiled successfully without challenge. Are you aware of this? If you're not aware, then you should be aware now that the rigging has already started, even before the election before the election date has come true. Now, you need to look into that matter. Number two, I want to ask another question. There was something I read about a judgment on order from the Enugu Federal High Court, Enugu, trying to, I think, barring you from parading yourself as a candidate of the Labour Party in this election in the state. Has that issue been resolved? The Federal High Court ruling or order. So I read it somewhere and I raised this issue some time ago. Has that issue been addressed? If it's not, please, if it's true, has it been addressed? If it's not true, please debunk the rumor if it is a rumor. Now, number three, I can tell you for free that the ruling party and the state government has marshaled out a whooping 400 million in the last time I checked for each local government for vote buying. Yes, in the last election in Onitsha, I'm sure you are aware what happened. The governor voted good money and 3 local government chairmen executed that mission in order to win it and win it convincingly, and votes were bought. Now it is going to be replicated. I'm telling you that for free, that a minimum of 400 million naira has been voted, and the local government chairmen are asking for more, that for them to deliver. How are you intending to counter them on this vote buying strategy they have come up with? Because it is going to be happening as I speak to you. And finally, I raised this issue yesterday, and and thank God you are here today. I want to raise it to you directly. Are you aware that some towns, I'm sure you are aware that Idemili North and South particularly has the key or bears the key to your possible electoral victory? And in fact, from P2B's time, in Gige's time upward, Idemili North and South has always delivered the votes that anyone requires to win the election. And some of the key towns there, Obosi, urban and rural, has been hijacked per se into a one-party town to work for the ruling party. No other political party is being allowed to work in Obosi as we speak. Are you aware of this? If you're not aware, please take note. I'm giving you this feedback. Please, how do you intend to get votes from Idemili North and South, but Idemili North and Obosi urban and rural in particular? Thank you very much.
Okay.
All
Thank you, Oga.
right, all right. Can I take the questions? We have already secured 12 questions here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I can go ahead and take them before we.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
All right. The first question that came was the issue of the incumbency coupled with Okachukwu's resources from the federal government, and then the question now is whether the OB effect can help or can be an enabler in realizing my ambition. I will answer the question by saying, one, this is not the first time incumbents have lost election, and this incumbent will also be defeated. In Anambra State, it has happened before. In the country, it has happened before. An incumbent has been defeated, and it will happen again. I'm very confident about that. So I am very confident that the will of the people will prevail, and God will do what He knows how to do. There's no doubt as to the fact that humongous resources are available to the state, which they have been abusing, and the clear manifestation of what they intend to do was demonstrated in the senatorial election, the by-elections that took place, where humongous amount of money, state resources were deployed to buy, vote, procure, and compromise electoral officers and what have you. But be that as it may, we are fully conscious of that, and we are doing the best we can to get our people to be aware of it. That this is what they did before, and this is what they intend to do. In fact, they intend to put in more money. But let me also tell you, I have no apologies for associating myself with Peter Obi, because he has the credibility and the character and the name that can help me in actualizing my ambition. That is why, in fact, that's the reason why we are meeting tonight, because I believe that I can leverage on the strength, support, and the popularity of the Obidient movement to add to what I have in terms of my visibility, in terms of my name, my image, my integrity. I add all together, and we are going to get victory. It is not only about money. I know money is important. It is not only about noise making or belief or false belief of contact. The reality on the ground will certainly be different. By the time every obedient is on the ground, by the time my people are on the ground, by the time I am on the ground, reaching out to people, telling them to beware of what these people are planning to do, the narrative will be different. So the OB factor is critical, and we are going to maximize its relevance in the course of the elections. Then the second question is, the second question, okay, then the second question is about what do I do to convince the neutral persons and make them believe, see me as their choice. That is exactly the essence of campaign, and that is exactly the essence of getting the obedience involved, like we have involving other groups of persons. What we are doing is to go around to market ourselves, to present on the Anambra what we intend to do for them, to plead with them to give us an opportunity, trusting us that we will not betray their confidence, assuring them that we will not let them down, that we're going to do that which is expected of us. So we are going to continue doing that until the last day that campaigns will stop. We'll keep talking to the neutral persons who have not made up their mind as to the area they want to go. At the end of the day, we believe very strongly that doing that which we are supposed to do and doing it right, that we're going to win the confidence of these neutral persons. All right, the next question is whether I was going to challenge the election, whether I was going to go to court. I will rather wait for them to take me to court. That will be my first reaction. However, we must understand one fact, that at times going to court, if you don't win in the court, it also helps it helps in getting people to understand what should be done. It is necessary, but in this time around, can assure you by the grace of God that won't take anybody to court, but they will take me to court if they desire. I'm very confident about that. Then as to inclusive governance, yes, if you look at our political demography, you will find out that the women and the youth play very critical roles. In terms of voting population, their strength is quite enormous and cannot be ignored. And that is what influenced my decision. Don't forget that the running mate I chose is a woman. Okay, and I also believe that the women have capacity, they have ability, and if you look at the positions of responsibility that are given to a lot of them, they discharge it well. Okay, so we're also going to involve the youths. If you look at my campaign structure today, there is the youth directorate standing on its own, dealing with youth affairs. When a lot of young men and women in our country today have done very well for themselves. Okay, these are people who I believe very strongly, if we give them the opportunity for them to work, they are going to do well. As for people with disability, I can assure you they will have a place in government. They will certainly be involved. Being disabled doesn't make them unable to do things that is expected of them. I have made that promise in the course of my campaign. I've engaged them. I've talked with them. I've assured them that I want them to join me so that we can form an inclusive government. I've asked them to come and partner with me, and they've been quite positive. A lot of them have joined in the campaign, and we're involving them. For us, they are being disabled one way or the other does not make them not useful to society. We believe very strongly they have a lot to contribute and they have a place in our government. As for the protection of the votes and the voters, yes, we are going to do the best we can. We're going to sensitize the police. We're going to sensitize the security agencies. And we are also going to sensitize the people. Anywhere I've been going in the course of my campaign, I have told them that the people must protect their votes. The people must resist any attempt to intimidate them, Nobody will be intimidated. We'll continue sending that message across. Nobody should allow him or herself to be intimidated. The votes must count. People must be determined to ensure that their votes count. They vote, they stay there, it is counted, it's recorded, it's uploaded, and they follow it to the next stage of collation. So our people must be involved, must make up their minds to protect their vote. It is not only about the candidate. There's a limit to what I can do as a person on election day. But at the same time, but the fact must be made clear that everybody must be fully involved, and we are going to do that which is expected of us. We are going to keep encouraging our people to stand to be counted. They should stand and protect their vote. Meanwhile, we are going to call out the police, call out the security agencies, remind them of their responsibility to our nation, that they are not anybody's tool and should not allow themselves to be used as anybody's tool or pawn on a chessboard. They should do what the Constitution says they should do to protect lives and property, to help in stabilizing the environment for proper democratic practice to take place. Then again, somebody asks about transparency and accountability. I thought I had spoken quite extensively on when I was talking about governance and leadership. But however, we are going to be transparent. I have made it point blank that I have identified as one of the reasons why our people have lost confidence in their government is that government is not transparent. Things are done secret. It should not be the case. Government must be transparent. Government must be open. Government must be accountable. Government must be accountable. That is the only way to address the issue of corruption in our system. We have a system where public office is seen as lucrative. It should not be so. It should not be so. While we believe very strongly that a laborer deserves his wages, we also believe very strongly that there is a limit, and that limit must be respected. So we're going to run a transparent government. We're going to be accountable. We're going to be open for people to assess us and ask questions at their own time. Then the next question is whether the people will have a voice in our governance. I want to assure that everybody will have a voice in governance. We'll make ourselves available. We'll open the channels for people to bring in their suggestions, bring in their comments, and reach us to make suggestions and advice, offer us advice on how it must be done. So we will be very open, we'll be accessible, and the voice of the people will be heard. Then somebody now asks, how do we intend to fight APGA in the state? This same question was asked when PDP lost government at the center. We're already fighting them because we're exposing their failures and their shortcomings to the people for them to see. It is no more a case of this is our own. It's no more our own because it's been privatized. And they are not doing what they promised the people they would do. All the promises they made as a political party, all have not been kept. So we are saying another political party will be given a chance. We are going to continue the fight. We are going to sustain our effort at bringing to the public domain what we think they're not doing well and the way we think they should go so that they can meet up the expectations of the people. Okay, yes, we have also gotten this information as to the relationship or what is happening between APGA and the INEC. Okay, what we are doing now is that we'll continue calling out INEC. We expect them. They must be open. They must be sincere. We have successfully uploaded our agents, 5,720 of them. We'll get them properly trained. We'll get them ready for the election. It won't be this election will not be election as usual. Things must be put in proper perspective so that questions can be asked and the answers must be provided. INEC will be called out, and we're already calling them out. They must be very careful. For me, I have said it over and over again that for every election is an opportunity for INEC to rebuild their image. It's an opportunity for INEC to win back the confidence of people. Because this apathy we keep talking about in the course of this discussion and even subsequent ones, the apathy, the major cause of the apathy is that the people believe their votes don't count. So the government, INEC must do everything to ensure that the people's vote counts. And by the time you do it 1, 2, 3 times repeatedly, people will see that there is a need for them to participate in the process. They become confident because their vote will count. So we're going to call out INEC and we'll continue to call them out to make sure that they do what is right. On the information as a compilation of lists, we have heard it that they've compiled lists, that they even submitted it to INEC and what have you. Yes, I have sold. Excuse me. We have told a few people who we believe have access to find out, to see how true that information is. Once we confirm it, we'll bring it to the public domain and we'll continue fighting. Everything must be transparently done. Let's see how they can do it. We must follow them bumper to bumper to make sure that they don't take anybody for granted, to make sure that they don't do things out of context. Then the issue of Enugu court, my dear, we have issued many refutals. It's just a joke. Here is a man who was procured by people we know. Let me save them the embarrassment of calling their names. We know them. They procured somebody so that they can distract us. The intention is to distract us, because if you speak from the point of law, there are clear basic facts. For you, Supreme Court has ruled that for you to participate, to go to court, to litigate against any process, you must participate in it. The young man who went to court did not participate in the primary. Issue of tickets are not given by states levels of the parties. Issue of tickets are given by the national. The same man, you are not a member of the National Executive Committee, you are not part of the process. Thirdly, and most importantly, Supreme Court has ruled that if you want to litigate against a primary process, you have 14 days from the day the primary took place for you to do that. If you fail to fall within these 14 days, it becomes status barred. This young man waited until 2 months and a half, going to 3 months, before going to court. So the issue is that the issue points he raised were dead on arrival. However, there was no court order barring me from parading myself as a candidate. There was no such order. It was a fabrication by the people. It was intended strictly to stop me or to distract me. There was no court, no such order. The only order the court gave is the order of substituted service, that they can serve us by substituted means, and that everybody must be placed on notice. And when I think it was 8th of last month, yes, the case was called up in court. Our lawyers were in court, but unfortunately the court did not even sit. So there's no court order. It exists in the imagination of those who are planning it. There's no court order stopping me or court order asking INEC. The only thing the court said was that they can serve me by substituted means, and that every respondent must be placed on notice. So that is a fabrication. It's an imagination of my battery. It's an imagination of those who are sponsoring it. So please, I'll just ask for a few minutes. Let me connect my battery because my phone is turning off.
Okay, no problem, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. And thank you very much for answering some of the questions. And while we wait for you to get your battery on or connected to a charger, David, are you on the call? David?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes. Please, can you we'll segue a bit. Can you share with us some of the rationale or reasons why you've come to believe in the candidacy of Dr. George?
All right.
What are the key reasons that made you say that, you know what, I want to be a part of this campaign? You're a son of Anambra State. You believe in his campaign. Why do you believe in his campaign?
All right. I was even going to speak after Mr. Moghalu would have finished. You know, last 2 months, when someone reached out to me, I wouldn't mention the name of the person, anyways. When someone reached out to me, because I think we just had a space, and I was actually voicing my frustration against Soludo because I was very much dissatisfied with his performance. He's been woeful, anyways. And so the person reached out to me and was like, okay, whom do I want to support? I said I was going to remain neutral because at the time I wasn't feeling the vibe of any alternative, right? And so the person was telling me about Mr. George, and I felt like, okay, out of curiosity, of course, I'm a researcher as well, but out of curiosity, I just felt like, looking up his profile online, and I did, and it was mind-boggling that the fact that many people are not aware of what he has achieved, especially his role as NIWA, that is National Inland Waterways Authority, as the MD of NIWA between 2019 and 2023. So I did a research about him extensively. Of course, before I would support anyone, I would have to research. So I found a few very interesting facts about him. Number one, and of course, he spoke about security, how he's going to ensure there is security and all that, curb the insecurity that is already festering. What I discovered, one of the things I discovered that he did was the deployment of water marshals, right, across the waters, to curb water accidents and all that. And some of the templates he adopted, I wish, of course, is part of the question I also wanted to ask him, how he's going to improve on that template because of the effort he made in terms of securing the waters. We're using a water marshal. Second thing I saw he did, he was the first person that made mandatory the use of life jacket in Nigerian waters. All right. And I think that has not been spoken about enough. Many people are not even aware of some of these things, especially in the Anambra, because I believe our people are so a bit disassociated with federal politics, that sometimes they don't even pay attention to what is happening in federal parastatals, right? And probably that is the reason most people are not aware of his achievements as the MD of NIWA. Right, so the making mandatory the use of life jacket and even arresting some people who flout that law for their safety, because the use of life jacket was to protect people against boat accidents, against water accidents, right? And that is something that is quite commendable. Second thing I discovered, second point I discovered was his effort to foster industrialization. The revitalization, the concession of Onitsha Port. I don't know if how many people are aware of that Onitsha Port was concessioned by him, right? And I also read sometimes in 2019 thereabout or 2020. I read, that he tried to revitalize or revamp the Oguta Lake port, right? And that is also something that is commendable. I mean, of course, Igbo people are business minded, right? And industrialization, one of the things that sort of give boost to industrialization is the functionality of the ports, right? So his effort in making sure that these ports, come alive is key. And I want to also ask him how he's going to develop or build on this. I don't know if you can hear me. Please confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, go ahead.
So if you can, okay. So the third thing I read about him is, which I'm not sure. I think he has to also confirm this, though I read it online, but he has to confirm it, and reassure, and also explain how he's going to build on this, raising revenue. I read that he was able to move the revenue of NIWA from 1 billion to 11 billion within a space of a year. And this is really, I want to really know how he did this, if he really did it, or if people just, wrote stuff about him online and then, confirm how he's going to also build on this, because Anambra generally needs this at the moment. The failure, the failure of this current government is such that sort of it touches all sectors, including raising revenues, and it's so bad. And so Anambra urgently needs this. My state, which I have to be, I have to give more passion to, to marketing and projecting his ideas. I wish, he can build on this, and I want him to talk about how he's going to build on this. I think I would have to stop here for now.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I want to confirm, Jack, if you're on the call. Jack, are you on the call? Trying to make you a speaker.
I can't find Jack here. Okay, I think he's here.
Okay, so Jack, please just I've sent you a speaker invite. Please accept it so that you can come on this on the speaker panel. Thank you very much. I mean, the real goal of this space is very simple. While we wait for His Excellency to join us to say one or two words, apparently he's currently at a function. He's going to be joining us shortly. While we wait for His Excellency to come, I believe that we've heard from our candidates. We've heard from him. He's been able to answer questions around security, education, values, corruption, you name it, economic development. He's answered several questions, and the real goal for this conversation is to ensure that obedience that have reservations or have questions that they want to ask him, they can do that in this space. And I believe that in the last couple of minutes, he's done a fantastic job of answering your questions. I mean, you felt some form of capacity, you felt some form of competence, and you've, to some degree, understood the reason why His Excellency is rooting for him in the Anambra elections. I mean, in terms of his history, someone who has led enterprises in government, he's been in the past Director General of the Bureau for Cooperatives and Rural Development in Abia State. And just as David has stated, he was once the managing director of the National Inland Waterways Authority, where he did tremendously well. And he was also the chairman of Nigerian's Communication Satellite Limited, and he has founded quite a number of different non-profits from this Muzo Development Foundation that has been dedicated to empowering communities through education, healthcare, and economic development. So he's been a big fan of education being a base station for development. Healthcare, without health, you can't do anything. And economic development, he's a businessman with several business interests that he runs a company called Crystal Functions Limited, a leading advertising firm. He has an investment company. He also runs a technology-driven firm, Aquadera Technologies Limited. He's a philanthropist, someone who has, to a large degree, through his foundation, carried out delivered impact across Nigeria, not just in Anambra State. His foundation has provided scholarships, medical outreach programs, and deployed infrastructure projects that have helped communities that are underserved. He has provided health assistance. He's someone who has been there for the last couple of years. He's not someone who is new. He's someone who has been there, and there's some form of history that made His Excellency say, you know what, I would want to back him. And the call for all of us listening to this call is to say, as a movement, we need to rally behind him. We need to rally behind Dr. George in terms of how we support him, from as simple as going to social media accounts right now and following his account, retweeting his videos, providing publicity for the campaign. As simple as, if you're in Anambra State, volunteering um, to become a vote protection volunteer, to become a polling unit agent, to mobilizing your polling unit. We have the obedience.com where you can actually get voters, you can actually recruit voters to vote. Um, you're a security official. How can you play a very critical role in providing intelligence? You are someone who is a pastor. How would you do you have plans to speak to your audience about his candidacy? You're a market woman, a market man, or a trader. What's your plan to engage your audience? You're someone who has resources in terms of finance. What are you thinking about in terms of donating to his campaign and supporting his campaign? To want to learn more about him, you can go to georgemoghalu.com. You're going to see his manifesto. You're going to see what he stands for. You're going to see how to support his campaign in terms of donations. Um, you will now get to understand why he's running. I mean, a very powerful quote from him is the fact that leadership is about service, not privilege. That's his understanding of leadership. And it's about restoring dignity. It's about building trust and ensuring that every citizen has a stake in their future. That's his operating philosophy. And he has a recovery agenda for Anambra State, a very powerful recovery agenda, that if that agenda is deployed, to a large degree, Anambra Gadema. Anambra Gadema, if it does, that happens. That's Anambra is going to be good. And he's one of his major platform is that he wants to fight to defend and expand Anambra's middle class. The reality is that the current state of the economy has destroyed the middle class. We have many people in the middle class that are now going into poverty. Poverty is now encroaching. Those that are even rich are finding it very difficult from the rise in inflation, from the amount of money being lost every Monday as a result of the stay-at-home order that is ravaging the state. And he says, you know what, I want to transform Anambra State. I want to make Anambra State to become that base station in terms of good governance and structural reform. That's something that's a major thing he's thinking about. He has four key priorities: good governance and institutional reforms, human capital development, very important, as you all know. Without a very strong and informed people, educated people, you can't drive development outcomes at scale for your people. Economic transformation and job creation. I mean, unemployed youth need to get a job. They need to earn a living, and we need Anambra is a home for billionaires, a home for a home where you have a home that has some of the biggest markets, industries. How do you ensure that we harness that economy and ensure that Anambra is a place that 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 houses the economic nerve center of the southeast or the south in general? Infrastructure and urban development. We have roads that are dilapidated. We have bridges that are struggling, and we have villages that need to be connected more properly. We have roads that are substandard in terms of the design. There's a need to build infrastructure for the future. I mean, in the next couple of years, we're going to have more people be born into Anambra State. Housing needs to be taken care of. So there are a lot of. So I know we've asked a couple of questions, and we're waiting for the candidate to come back on the space because I think he has a technical issue in terms of his device. I'm going to bring on Jack. Jack is a believer. Jack is a believer. He's going to share with us some of the rationale, some of the reasons why we need to go hard. We need to go merit for Dr. George Moghalu. George, please over to you. Please give us an idea of the recovery agenda of Dr. George, if you're there. George, Jack, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening, everyone. Confirm if you can hear
Thank
me,
Good
Century,
evening.
please.
We can hear you loud and clear. We can hear you loud
All
and
right,
clear. Please
thank
go
you.
ahead.
It's good to be here. Everybody. Talking about Anambra elections and George Moghalu. So for me, it's just like David had alluded to the fact that initially, as much as a lot of us were obviously not happy with our current governor, Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo. And for me, this is not even about politics. It's about, realities on ground, development on ground. Yeah. I'm from Anambra State myself, and I visit home very often. And I'm well traveled, at least in the Nigerian context, right? Specifically Southeast, there's no state I don't visit, every 4 months. So I could tell that there's an appreciable level of development happening in Abia State. Over the last 2 years, you could see the seriousness of, governance happening in Enugu State. You could see, even in Imo State, you could see that there's appreciable level of improvement from where they used to be. But when you come to Anambra State, you begin to see the level of mediocrity, across board, associated with, our current governor and the things he has done. And, for people like me, I feel that it is not, it is, we're in democracy and we should not be able to reward failure, right? And reward, petty politicking in
Can
2024.
anybody hear Jack?
Yeah, I can hear you very clearly.
Yes, please confirm if you can hear me.
Century.
Yeah, Jack.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear
All
you.
right,
We
David.
can
thank
hear
you.
you. Go
So,
ahead,
so,
please.
We can hear
so,
you.
so, I mean, you look at the security. Anambra used to be one of the, safest states in Nigeria. And as much as I'm not going to, because I'm also very fair in my assessment, as much as I'm not going to blame, the whole security distance on the governor, right? Because of course, all the federal, all the security agencies are actually controlled by the federal government. However, I have a serious problem with the, local security, the vigilante system, the new Agune chamber, which our candidate George Mohalo has actually called for the disbandment of that particular security outfit. And this is not based on, it is not even because there's an election. Every single Anambarian on the street of Anambra that actually lives in Anambra don't feel safe around Agune Chamber people. We ran a survey on this. If you move around Anambra and ask people what their opinion is about the Agune Chamber security outfit, they will tell you two things. They will tell you that these guys are criminals. They will tell you that these people are actually a political setup. They are meant for election rigging. That is what an average Anambra person believes as of today. And why is this so? This is so because these guys are even worse than the Nigerian police. What they do basically is to extort in the Anambra. And when you refuse to give them these monies, they either harass you, they beat you up, or in some cases they get people killed. And I mean, this it's not once, it's not twice. There are too many instances. Almost every week, there must be an incident of associating Agune Chamber, or the operation Udogachi, right? Across Anambra, either maiming somebody, killing somebody, or shooting, sporadically and all of that. And when you see these guys, you could see clearly that these people are mostly touts, right? Not well dressed, always looking haggard, always looking like criminals. You look at them, you see that most of them are smokers. Most of these people, so that you can't feel safe having guns in the hands of these guys. And that is what an average Anambra person is saying. If we need a security outfit, please, can you take these people and train them properly? Can you bring in more decent people that are even willing on the streets of Anambra to actually do this work and pay them properly? Because most of these Udogachi people are not even paid well. I think the highest earner is around 100K or thereabout. On average, most of them are paid 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. And so there is no way you give somebody a gun and send them to the street and pay them this mega amount, and you expect them to actually carry out the function of a proper security outfit. So let's even not talk about that. Let's talk about the infrastructure. Yeah, so you will hear the governor Soludo tell you, oh, I've built 400 kilometers of road, I'm opening up villages. But what people are not paying attention to is even the roads that are built as well. What is the quality of these roads? I drive around. I move around the state. I mean, if I haven't been to any town in Anambra, I know I've been to more than 50 towns in the last 1 month in Anambra State. And you could see clearly that these roads are already failing. This is not politics. It's the reality on ground. So why are we in 2025 celebrating building roads that will not even outlive your government? It doesn't make no sense to me. So, I mean, let's discuss education. Is Anambra faring better, education-wise? Governor Soludo employed, pride himself as somebody that employs 5,000 teachers, right? But these 5,000 teachers, none of them is on permanent employment yet, right? They are still on probation. So they are paid peanuts. And you expect these people to be able to train the future generation of Ndi Anambra. That is why our schools are performing woefully. In WAEC NECO, we are doing poorly. This last result, I think we did about 24th on the list and thereabouts. This is not the Anambra that we used to know. Our people now hold their burials, their funerals. The other day, some of you were, saw it when Flavor, that is from Anambra, had to bury his father in Enugu State. People now do their what's it called? Traditional marriage, weddings outside Anambra. Even the governor himself, his daughter had to, if you guys remember, his daughter had to do her wedding in Abuja. Right? Why are all these things happening? It's happening because even the governor cannot guarantee the safety of people, dignitaries that probably want to grace the the wedding ceremony and all of that in Anambra State. So something is wrong, and somebody has to tackle these things head on, right? And the truth of the matter is that, just like every other person, I was quite skeptical about George Moghalu, from the onset. But I'm also somebody that likes to not just give people benefit of the doubt, right? But I also go a little deeper and actually find out things for myself. Everybody knows me. If there's something I'm notorious about, is the fact that I don't follow crowd. I don't support people because others are supporting them. And most of you know my story on this on Twitter, at least in the Obidient movement, that there have been instances where I said I'm not going to support this candidate because he's a Labour Party person, or because Obidient said they want to support him. I'm not going to do that. I support people based on their personal character. And when I took my time, I realized that we have a gem, we have somebody that can actually say, I will do this, and we can believe the person will do that. And this is not just about, even because David reeled out what he did as DG of NIWA, and and all of that. But if you even trace it back to his life as permanent secretary in Abia State, in the days of Dr. Ogbonnayono, and look at his history, his track record of performance as consultant with other palms, with as the founder of one of the biggest advertising company in the east of Niger, back in the days. You see that there's a track record of excellence associated with him over time. There is nobody in Anambra, politics that will tell you that George Moghalu has, any controversy associated with his public life and his private life. Both as a businessman, he executes contracts and he does what he's supposed to do and all of that. So I looked at his personal character and I feel like this is somebody that we can actually rally around, somebody that has shown that he has the capacity to deliver. And David, to answer your question about, when you talked about whether he did actually improve if he actually did improve the revenue of NIWA from about 1 billion to about, I think he left it at 11.7 billion, when he was leaving office, just in 4 years. It wasn't even just about the revenue. Go to NIWA. See, I've been to NIWA offices, their area offices in Port Harcourt and that of Onitsha. In short, somebody reached out to me and said that she's a NIWA staff in Lokoja. And he said, that man, George Moghalu, is a rare gem. It was somebody else telling me. He said, if you ever work with this person, there is no way, this person cannot turn things around. When he was the DG of NIWA, he did excellently well. The welfare of the staff of NIWA is something that some of their salaries were not just doubled, some of them were tripled. And these are like, there is no single person, some people, some staff where he built house for them, he brought in professionalism into NIWA, as the DG of NIWA. And it was under his watch that people even got to know, start hearing about NIWA. It was under his watch that I started hearing about Onitsha River Port working and not working and all of that. And he successfully concessioned it. And there were too many things that could have been done. By now, goods would have been coming into Onitsha on daily basis if people like that, remained in office. But that is a conversation for another day. So the point I'm trying to make is that, is he tested? He's tested. Does he have capacity to deliver? 100% he has the capacity to deliver. And now I feel that what we need to do is now to support, this person. There's so many ways we can support him, just like a Century has talked about. Century, you asked about the recovery agenda, The very first thing that we need to actually bring back in Anambra, I don't know if you mentioned that, is the fact that a lot of Indian Anambra have actually lost hope in governance. Like they no longer believe people in government, and they are now resorting to being very transactional, right? So this is why, if you look at the last election, the last senatorial election in Anambra, it was purely vote buying. I make bold to say that it was purely vote buying. What Apuga government did, as popular as they claim that they are on ground, they were simply buying votes for 30,000, 25,000, 20,000, 10,000 in some cases, and 5,000 in some cases. And why is that so? They are doing it because of the fact that they are not delivering, good governance at the moment. People no longer want to get involved in even coming out to vote, right? Because they no longer believe that government serves their purpose. Because government is not centered around them. What we now do is politics development. I'll give you an instance. Nnewi is still the biggest automobile market in the whole of West Africa. You can quote me anywhere, or you can find out, do your own research about this. But I bet I make bold to say that Nnewi has the worst road you can find anywhere in the whole of eastern Nigeria, apart from maybe Asaba Express and all of that. Almost all the major roads leading to the market are in shambles. Why is the government of Anambra State not paying attention to, revenue generating, cities in Anambra State? And the cities are left to decay. If you come to Nnewi today, you look around, you clearly find out that there's no government presence here. Onitsha is not faring any better. And people are being taxed every day. You pay this tax. Anambra State government made a law mandating all the local government to remit 90% of the local government allocations back to the a consolidated state account. So local governments are not functional. The only thing they do is to pay salaries. And so there's a lot of things that is not going well in the state. You're not talking about healthcare. We don't have, there's only one MIR scan or MIR scan in the whole of Anambra State, and it's domiciled in Nnewi by a private organization. Why don't we have, current and modern medical facilities in the state at the moment? So there's a lot to be done. There's a lot to be desired for if you're from Anambra at this stage, at this point. Most of the progress that we can still boast of right now are the things that happened.
Can you hear
are the
me?
things that happened 15 years, 20 years ago. During the last administration. During P2B administration, and it shouldn't be so. So these are some of the things, that when you look at, you just realize that we cannot reinforce this failure, right? And on ground, people actually want this change. However, we need to actually work hard to sell this candidate, to the people, to actually tell them that, look, this man is somebody we can hold accountable. He listens. His humility is second to none. He's very, patient, very attentive, very intelligent. When I say somebody is very intelligent, it's not just about, being able to say you are a professor or you are a PhD, PhD degree holder or whatever. This is somebody that you can actually have conversations across different sectors of the economy, and is able to tell you what he's able to do in each and every one of them. So for me, I am not just campaigning for George Moghalu. I am telling people that, see, you can hold me. Like, I'm not somebody that want to do things because people are doing it, but I can vouch for this individual as to his ability to deliver good governance from the Anambra. And I really wish and hope that our people, will key into it so that we can recover this state for the future generation. Thank you so much, Century. I'll use the mic for now, and then, maybe answer one or two questions more. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll just take 5 more questions from the public. David, please manage that session. Let's just take 5 more questions. Welcome back. The judge is back on. Let's take 5 more
All right.
questions.
So I think in queue, I think we have Matthew Baker. Matthew Baker.
All right. Okay. Good evening.
You have just
Thank
a
you.
minute, please.
All
If
right. Thank you
you
very much.
sorry, if you see my clap, you round off.
All right. Thank you. Yes, I just have 2 quick questions to the Labour Party governorship candidates of Anambra State. The first one is about the welfare and housing for civil servants in the state. I don't know what plan you have, because we have discovered in the country that civil servants work. They spend 35 years of their lives serving the state, and then many of them end up as paupers, and then in the course of their service, they struggle to pay house rents, while politicians live large. Houses are built for commissioners, houses are built for political office holders, vehicles are provided for them, official vehicles, security. So I want to know his plans for the civil servants, their welfare and housing. Secondly, there are a lot of people that have been locked up, innocently, in the correctional centers, in the prisons. Many people are languishing there, and then for no just cause. So I don't know if the incoming governor has a plan. What plan does he have for such people that are held down because their lives and destinies and people connected to them are locked down and is languishing somewhere when they have not really committed any offense? These are my two questions. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Am I supposed to take the questions immediately?
No, sir. Let's have them in a row. So you just
Okay.
yes. So I think Moshood, you have the mic, please. After Moshood, go. Then after go, comrade. Moshood, are you there? If you're not there, go can actually go. Okay, go. Let's have you, please.
Okay, good evening, all. Good evening, Dr. George Moghalu.
Thank you.
My name is Hugo Anekwe. I'm from Isiowele, Idemili North. I'm a voter there. But I don't think you responded to about the Idemili North and Idemili South vote. That's where the highest number of votes come from. And also, I want to ask: are you working with Honorable Okonkwo, the current House of Rep member, because it's a Labour Party man. So I'm supposed to be working with him so we can deliver votes there. And again, the present governor came to office with the least minority votes, 100 and something thousand votes. That is minority. That is very, very little. So our major aim now is to mobilize people to make sure that people come out on the election day. And when people troop out in their numbers to vote, it will be difficult for them to buy those votes. So I don't have any question because you are not campaigning for me. I will vote for you. You are Labour. You are now an obedient person. So I vote for you. So and they again ask people and campaign and make sure people vote for you. But that in Idemili North and South should be major focus because that is where the numbers will come from. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Comrade, Shadrach, please. You have the mic.
Okay, good evening, House. Yeah, please confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, comrade. You
Yeah,
have
my
a
name is
minute,
Comrade
please. You have
Shedrack.
a minute.
Okay, yes, Comrade Shedrack from Anambra State. So please, I have to be quick because of time. Please, I don't have much question to our principal. I want to just go direct to our Oga. My network disturbing. Dr. Tanko. Okay, please. My question to you directly, and I would like you to just answer me, sir. I want to know because previous week for like 3 weeks now, I have been in my state, Anambra State, monitoring things, and I discovered that obedient movements are not fully involved in the campaign, and I don't know the reason. And please, I want to plead, if possible, by next month, let all the obedient, mostly those voting in Anambra, should move back home because we need them. Dr. George cannot do everything alone. He need everyone. Like myself now, my family, myself, my wife, even two of my workers that are voting in my state, I will move them next month. So please, I don't want us to be talking always online. I want us to be taking action. My second question now goes to you again, sir. Sir, please, I want to know why His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, I want to know. I'm not seeing his full involvement in the campaign with Dr. George. Is there any other plans ahead? Please, I just needed to answer those two questions. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Thank you so much. I think Dr. Tanko heard you. Dr. Tanko, do you want to take it or we should go ahead? Maybe at the end. Dr. Tanko, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Tokoza?
Okay, then I think he directed these questions to you.
Yes,
So I don't know if you want.
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
really. Let me establish. Yes, we were waiting for a lot of clarity, and you remember that His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, as a leader of the Obidient movement, who is not selfish, who wants to carry along every member of his followers, said that he will wait until November and give support to all of his candidates. That includes His Excellency Mr. George Morgan, support for the election coming up in November. I was there in Onitsha when, despite all odds, he made sure he was on that ground and he raised the hand of Mr. George Moghalu. I was there. So the person that actually kicked off this particular campaign was actually Mr. Peter Obi himself. So he was there at the beginning and he has promised to be there. So even the last time before we left for Lagos, we had meeting. He also committed himself by having meeting with Mr. George Moghalu and promised that he will continue to support his candidature, promised to do what he can do to ensure that we win the election. So be rest assured that His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi is fully in tune with this campaign and he'll do all that he can do to ensure that we are fully on ground in Oka and Anambra in general. As for the Obidient movement, we've had series of meetings before we got to this level. We have 2 or 3 meetings with Mr. George Moghalu, and he has been able to intimate the Obidient movement generally. He has spoken with Anambarians, all the collegiate leadership in Anambra and surrounding. Almost all the states in the southeast have been contacted, and we have come to resolve that we will all be in Oka to support Mr. George Moghalu's candidature. There are plans already on ground in order to ensure that this take place. In fact, as of yesterday, we were supposed to have a meeting with him on the modus operandi on how to march on to Oka to support his candidature. So the Obedient movement has been fully engineered and we have spoken to each other. And so this particular space is a culmination of what we agreed upon. So we are ready and we will all of everybody in Anambra and surrounding to come out en masse and give their full support. Starting from yesterday or day before yesterday, we've given a marching resolution that every Obedient in and around Anambra, including those who are on this space, should please start placing the posters and face of Mr. George Moghalu on their phones and on their DPs and everywhere they can be reached to ensure that the maximum popularity is ensured. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready and we're willing to go. So we all just need to organize ourselves using both human and material resources, bringing in technology to this particular campaign. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Tanko. Matthew, I think you've spoken. Please, if you have, just indicate because the last speaker for tonight is going to be Eze Danino. Okay, so Eze Danino, you have the floor, please.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yes,
hear
sir,
you.
we
Have
can.
a minute. Sorry.
Yeah, mine just simple question. Doc, what's your take on rotational system and one-term bid in governance? And then two, what type of agent do you have? And do you have a backup agent? Bear in mind that some agents can be compromised. Do you have backup agent like retired forces, like the retired policemen and the rest? And then what's your relationship with the student as they will play a key role in this? And lastly, why is the Onitsha River Port not working currently? What do you know about it? Thank you.
Am I to take the questions now or
Yes, sir, you can take the questions. Absolutely.
okay? All right. The first one was about welfare and housing for civil servants in the state. As part of our program, we have said that we're going to ensure how we provide houses for our civil servants. We believe very strongly that we must address the issue of their welfare. You see, if you buy cheap, you buy twice. If you don't train, equip, and prepare the civil servants, you will not get the best out of them. And we believe that their welfare is very, very critical. And that's why we made a promise that things like pension will not be delayed in our state. After you have served your state meritoriously for 35 years, you have no reason to beg for what is due to you. So we must have that as a package. The welfare of civil servants is critical. You see, when you address the issue of their housing, address the issue of their medicals, address the issue of their transportation, you have successfully addressed their welfare. Whatever they earn, therefore, can be put into other effective use, things that matter to them personally. So housing, we're going to get the government involved in mass housing and involving the private sector. We must involve the private sector to drive our economy, but we must first of all create the enabling environment, address the issue of insecurity, bring in incentives, make things easier for them, unbottle, unlock governance, unlock governance. People should apply for their CFO, and within 1 week they should have their CFO. People should apply for land that they need to use to do investment. You provide that. You provide them that. What is the government involvement? These are questions we must ask ourselves and be able to address the needs of the people. So the civil servants, just like other Anambrarians, are Anambrarians. They are of course great concern to us because if you want a good civil service, you prepare them properly, create the environment, and you get the best out of them. So those two issues are of critical importance, and we're going to address it. Then when you talk about correctional centers, the limit a state structure, subnational has with regards to the operations of correctional centers are very clearly limited because it is a federal responsibility. But however, we can play an advocate role. We can improve on advocacy to get the ones that has to the ones that concerns us, like using the instrumentality of prerogative of mercy committees, and then getting the chief judge to visit to make visitations to correctional centers more routine, so that he or she can look at the cases that are there. Because there's no doubt as to the fact that we have more awaiting trial cases than those convicted. So these are issues that can be addressed, but more our role will be more of advocacy because it's a federal territory, it's a federal concern. That is not to say that we cannot use the instrumentality of our judiciary system by way of getting the chief judge, appealing to him, getting them, encouraging them to go more on a routine check to ensure that those who shouldn't be there are not kept there unlawfully. We are very conscious of the issue of Idemili North and South. Yes, but the correction must be made. In terms of voter population, yes, Idemili North, but not Idemili South, because here we are more than Idemili South in terms of voter population. However, every vote counts. Every vote is important. Idemili North is important, Idemili South is important. We are going to do everything we can to sell our candidacy in this particular area so that we can maximize the output. We have a latent force. Labour Party, the Obedience have a latent force. What we need to do is to ignite it. We need to get it. These are latent forces that are dormant. We need to whip up the sentiment. We need to bring them to the consciousness of their responsibility, and then they will play the role. But as to whether we are aware that the Demley North and South are very critical, we are fully aware, and they have a strong voting population. Then somebody asked whether I was working with Honorable Harris Okonkwo. Yes, very well, very much. Harris is working with us. He has shown commitment. He has been involved in some of the community tours we have attended. He attended with us, and he's been quite supportive. So we're working together, and he's bringing it to bear. We're going to also tap into the advantage of the fact that he's representing the Emily North and South in the federal legislature. Then somebody talked about P2B's involvement, but pointed the question to Tanko, and Tanko has started talking about it, so there's nothing to say there. Then retired members of the armed forces. Yes, I have said it time and time again that we must get involved. Members of the armed forces that are retired, we will use them to train our local vigilantes. We use them to train our local forces so that we can have a well-trained local arrangement that can be beneficial to our people. So we're involving them, we'll continue to involve them. And as to elections, we are also sensitizing them. They are part of the local communities we are talking to. We are sensitizing, we are getting them to understand how important, how their role is important to ensure that things are properly done. So we are getting them involved as we get along. Then finally, on the issue of Onitsha River Port, I feel sad that not much has happened there after we left, because we had a plan. We drew a master plan that as to what should happen with Onitsha River Port, because the potentials are quite enormous. And that was why we were very firm in our commitment to ensure that we concession the port, which is successfully did. Unfortunately, the technical partners are Port of Antwerp. The man managing Onitsha River Port, the last time I saw him was Mr. Wet. He's a Belgian. So what the government needs to do, as a government, if we find ourselves in office, it is Onitsha River Port belongs to the federal government, just like National Inland Waterways Authority was a department in government at the federal level. What we're going to do there is to encourage them, advocacy also. We're going to challenge, we're going to encourage, we're going to support to ensure that the port is put into effective use. I will advise the federal government on the need for dredging to open up the channels so that access to the various ports, not only Onitsha River Port, inland ports, will be very, very free. And we'll also encourage government to ensure that other local inland ports like Uguta, like Lokoja, they're all completed. Because the moment they are completed and the channels are opened, we put them into effective use. And it will be beneficial in terms of cargo movement within the country. Like I've always said, movement of bulk cargo all over the world is either by water or by rail, not by road. Thank you.
Okay, Century. Yeah,
Thank, yeah, thank you very much. We are gradually coming to the end of this space. We are just to provide context. We are currently trying to get His Excellency on. Dr. Tanko is trying to make that happen. But before we finalize that, I want to bring in, as I know we said we're going to have the last question. I want to bring up a Seloka Zik to just ask one last question. Apologies. After that, Dr. Tanko will provide us with updating regarding His Excellency's presence on the space. Seloka, please go ahead and ask your question,
Good
please.
evening, all. Mine is not so much a question as to just make some observations. My name is Seloka Zikora. I have known Dr. George Moghalu for over 20 years now, and I can say that he's more than prepared to be governor of Anambra State and to provide the necessary good governance and capacity that will bring Anambra State back once again on track. Having said that, I just want to mention that apart from the issues of low voter turnout in Anambra elections, it's not just about voter apathy. It is also, for this particular election, the issue of fear. There is fear being entrenched by the current governor with his Odogachi or whatever militia that he has unleashed on that place. And the very things that they have done thus far is purposely meant to put fear in the mind of the people and discourage them from coming out on the election date. So the issue is how to galvanize these people and let them know that they have to take their destiny in their hands. Fear, we have to conquer fear and make people to come out. Two, the issue of association of Dr. George Moghalu with our principal, His Excellency Peter Obi, is critical. And one of the ways that I believe it's an old method, but then it is still very vital for the rural communities, is more of the posters with his picture and that of our principal should be severally in most words. I know that they are discouraging, they have used the issue of money to discourage billboards and what have you in Anambra, but we can still do those kind of poster things in the Anambra State rural areas, in the various wards, on people's homes and what have you. So, and I will also advise that nocturnally, you should be able to have some meetings with various community leaders, especially the PGs of the various unions. Having said that, thank you so much for this opportunity to participate in this, and we are hoping for the best come November 8th.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Osaloka. Thank you so much, Dr. George, for being an amazing guest on this government space and for really answering powerful questions, sharing insights about your campaign, what you stand for, your vision for Anambra State. And also thank you to everyone who have really, really done a fantastic job of putting our candidate through the fire to ensure that we are backing someone that we truly believe that has the competence, capacity, and character. And I'm certain that we are leaving this space knowing that we have a solid candidate and a strong understanding the movement is totally behind him. And not just in the coming months, in the coming weeks, the entire structure of the Obidient movement in Anambra State would do justice to support him as that whole process is currently ongoing. This space is a space where His Excellency Peter Obi is supposed to be on this space to also share with us his vision and his rationale for why he's supporting Dr. George. For some reason, we are having a bit of a challenge reaching him. I want to bring Dr. Tanko. Are you on the call, please, to provide context in terms of where we are with that conversation? Thank you.
Yes, I can. I just finished speaking with His Excellency, and he has promised to join this particular meeting. I actually sent him a link already just to ensure that he gets the right connected. And so I only hope he's not having any technical issue, as the case may be. But we'll continue to try to ensure that he comes up so that he speaks to us as with regard to this particular campaign. Like I said earlier on, we've been in touch with him before we got to this level. In fact, we agree on this particular timing. So I want to plead with you to have a little bit of patience. He will join us and then spend maybe 10, 20 minutes, and then we are done with this particular meeting. But I really want to stress on something. Mr. Oseluka mentioned a very critical issue. There is a concerted effort to cow everybody in this country, intimidate, subdue, have a mental attack on every Nigerian. And they are going to start with Anambra. The idea is, you know, the background of Mr. President, with all due respect. Many of what has happened to us in the Obidient movement has been the issue of intimidation, maiming, attack, and killing. I will stress that word, killing. A lot of our people lost their lives before the 2023 general elections. Single problem because they want to register to vote. Many young men and and girls lost their lives. And at the point also when we were campaigning in Lagos, I was in Lagos, a lot of buses were attacked and were being maimed. A lot is still happening at the moment now. But the question is, do we as a people allow this to continue? With the spirit of those who lost their lives in the process of trying to get Nigeria on the right path, would they forgive us if we refuse to continue to challenge the status quo? I'm talking to you with a lot of emotions in my mind because it seems to me like Nigeria will be put under the map of a very cowardly looking set of people. We're not cowards and we're not afraid. A man can only die but once, especially when you are doing the right part, the right thing. We only ask to allow us to do our constitutional rights, which is voting for the candidate of our choice. We're not asking for anything to be gratified for anything. But if we will allow such thing to continue, then please, ladies and gentlemen, there's no need for us to continue to wall up in our corner, in our cocoon, to complain about certain things is done wrongly and all. No. No. We have to fight this battle for the soul of our country. We have to come en masse, encourage people, give them that particular vibes to believe that yes, they can do it. Look, how many of us would they kill if we come out en masse to say we are voting? We will vote. We must vote. We must come out and vote. Don't allow anybody to intimidate you at all. If they succeed in Anambra, I will tell you that forget about 2027. If they succeed in Anambra to intimidate any one of you from not coming out, they will finish this country completely. Then we'll have no say anymore. Me, I'm battle ready to come out. I will be there by the grace of God. Probably it's me that they will first of all kill for coming out to support Mr. Moghalu or asking Nigerians to come out and vote. I will surrender my life to this particular cause. Because if we allow it, I'm telling you, we are finished as a people. So please use this particular voice of mine. Send it as a message to everybody in Anambra that they have the right to vote. Yes, they can defeat us cleanly. We will accept defeat, but not to be intimidated, not to be stopped from coming out to vote. We must vote for the candidate of our choice. I'm pleading with every one of you. Please go back. Everybody that you need to energize them. Let them come out and vote. Nothing will happen. And if they kill us, they cannot kill the whole of us completely. It won't happen. So Obidient, get your mojo on. Get your strength on. It is time to take our country back. It is time to show our strength collectively. Please come out and vote on the 8th of November. Mobilize everybody that you can mobilize. That is the tone in which we need to use now. Now, not tomorrow. Essentially, you can give more space to people who want to speak to us in this light while we wait for His Excellency to join us. And I'll continue to try to get him on board. If he has challenges, we'll find a way of getting him on board. Thank you and God bless you. Nigeria is home and we must get it back.
Thank you, Dr. Tanko, for your very, very passionate speech. Like as you were saying, as you were speaking, I had goosebumps because we are currently in a fight for survival, in a fight for the future of this nation. And we're currently in a fight for the future of our unborn children and those that have been born. And like you said, we only die once. And so we have to fight this fight to safeguard ourselves and also save the future generation. Now, I would I would want to bring Jack back up because I really, when Jack was speaking, when Dr. Tanko was speaking, I just felt Jack would be a very strong segue to continue to push this conversation and more or less to build the rationale. And the rationale for me, Jack, is that we've had all of these things that we've had a very fantastic conversation. If you've been here since 8:30, you already know that Dr. George is someone who has competence. He has someone who has capacity and character for His Excellency to choose him. He has a plan. He has a mandate. He has a recovery agenda. Now, it's like selling him to the choir because to a large degree we are you felt the intellectual sagacity of his mind on this space. Now, Jack, I want you to come back on to sort of like make a case to every single obedient on this call, just the same way Dr. Tanko has spoken. Every single obedient on this call, for us to really understand at this call why we need to be involved and how we can be involved. So not just the why, but how, the exact how from your own perspective. Jack, if you're in this space, please just I would like you to throw some light on this. Are you there, Jack?
Essentially, if Jack is having a bit.
Can you take that there? Can you take that, David? David, can you take that? Yeah.
Okay, so I was also going to like make a request to Mr. George, Dr. George rather. I don't know if he's available. It's just a request, not because last week, no, early this week rather, I spoke with my parents. Of course, in with the intent of selling his candidacy, because like I said, he's not just pushing offline. Can you hear me? Sorry, Century, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So it's not just pushing offline because people say we just make a noise online. It's not just pushing online. It's also going beyond online to also galvanize support offline. So, of course, I was having interaction with my parents and giving them the usual because the affinity with Anambra with between Anambra and Apuga, of course, was, I would say, caused by PO. But since then, since he made them see good governance through Apuga, they now believe that good governance can only come through Apuga. Unfortunately, the people who have come
Hello,
after.
Century. What could be the problem? The voice is very low. We're not hearing it properly anymore.
Well, I think it's from your own end. Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you.
Can you hear
Yes,
me too?
but it's not as loud as
Okay,
you should
David.
be. My appliance is at the highest point.
Can you hear me now, sir? Can you
Okay,
hear me?
okay, David. I think just rejoin back. Just come back in and rejoin back.
Oh, but
Right? Just
can
come
you
back
hear?
and rejoin
Wait,
back.
can you hear me, Century?
It's a bit faint. It's
It's
not very
very
sharp.
faint, not
Okay.
a bit.
Very
Very,
faint.
very.
Yeah, very faint. So just join back. Okay, so Jack would go on to get contributions from others, but I want to make all of us understand. I want to just basically announce that His Excellency we're trying to get him on. He's just landed. He's been in transit for a while. He just landed, so we are still working behind the scene to get him on this space. While we continue to wait for him, we want to focus on contributions now. If you know you have a contribution to make, I'm not a question, but a contribution to add to this conversation, to add your voice, especially with focus on what you can do, what you are pledging to do for the campaign. What are you going to be contributing to ensure that this campaign is a success? That is what we are now focused on right now. So we're in this phase of we've passed the phase of questions. We're
Uh,
now in the phase of
Century,
of of
Century, please
yeah.
hold on.
Yes, sir.
Listen to His Excellency. He's speaking through my phone because it's challenge getting to you. Just listen to
Okay.
Excellency, please.
Okay.
Oh. No, they can hear you now, Century. Can you?
Yes.
I can hear him. I can hear him. I can hear
They
him.
can hear you
Yes.
now, sir.
you're talking, finish what you're saying. I'll talk with Tanko, then I'll come back to you. Finish what you're saying because through Tanko I was hearing you. So finish what you're saying. Tanko, let him finish what he's saying. Then I'll come out.
No, I'm done speaking, sir. I'm done speaking already, sir. I'm done speaking.
So what I wonder, because I've not listened to so many things you people were discussing before, to have an update of what we were talking about.
Okay, should I just give you an update of what we've been talking about? What just a summary of what has happened so far?
Yes, because that's what I wanted Tanko to give me.
Okay. So, Dr. Tanko, do you want to do that while His Excellency on the space? Dr. Tanko, can
I
you hear
said, go
us?
ahead, Century. Go ahead, speak.
Okay. So, a quick update, sir. So, what we've been able to do on this space is we've provided obedience on this space, an overview of who Dr. George is, what he stands for, his mandate, his vision for Anambra State. We've also had various obedience come on and ask critical question around his plan for education, his plan to address insecurity, his plan to ensure that Anambra State is an industrialized state. It's also his plans for accountability to run a government that is transparent, a government that is truthful, accountable to its people. Also in terms of infrastructure and urban development, his plans for that. And he's done a fantastic job of answering the questions that has been asked by Obedience. And we've had Jack come on to also make a very strong case in terms of the pedigree of Dr. George, what he's done at NIWA, his track record of service delivery, his track record, his reputation in terms of accountability and all of that. And we had Obedience who have also raised concerns regarding what you pose. Dr. Tanko, are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you. Excellent.
Can you see him? Okay. So we've also had Obedience who have asked questions regarding your support for him and all of that. And so that's where we are currently at the moment, where we are basically taking contributions. And Dr. Tanko has made a very strong, passionate plea in terms of what's at stake, and democracy is at stake. And there are people that want to silence the voice of Obedience. Dr. Tanko, are you still speaking? I don't know if I'm speaking over you.
All
Okay.
right.
So so pretty much that's what we've been.
So,
That's pretty much a summary of what we've discussed so far.
thank
What has happened so far. Thank you.
Please go ahead, Your Excellency.
Well, I believe you have done most of the work that needs to be done. What is important is that, first and foremost, that my own position is that he's the candidate I'm supporting for the election. The reason being that I've looked at all the other candidates, not just because he's a Labour Party candidate and a Labour Party member, but in terms of experience, I believe he has the experience for the office. I also believe that having lived and operated around Abia area, he could see the difference being made when there's a good governance. 3, in terms of having governance has a lot to do, not just competence, but an issue of compassion, where it contains the people. I believe he has the right compassion for governance. And I urge you people, and I'm happy that this is not me now telling you people, you've been able to, on your own, be able to have a conversation with him. Because that's what I tell people every day. It is important that whoever says I want this office Sunday should be able to tell the world what he wants to do with that office. Not via people, not other people doing it. He is the one talking to you people. And I thank you people for that and the opportunity of extracting everything from him. Now that that is the position, you now see why you must all go out to support him. The campaign has not been going right the way I feel it should go in Anambra State, where I believed I passed through. Had a second tenor, which was between me, Dr. Chris Ngige, Professor Soludo, Shifuka Chukwu, Ifeanyi Uba, Andy Uba, and Uche Kunife. And I can tell you, the campaign was so vigorous for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months. Every discussion was on issues which I've said and maintained my politics is all about. Any politics that is devoid of issues, I'm not part of it. And I don't want to be part of it. For me, politics, morning, afternoon, night, must be a discussion on issues. Anything short of that, I don't want to participate in it. So when I now listen to where people have abandoned issues and are discussing personal things, and one person who is very, very worried. So I thank you for the interview, for your own intervene him and being able to get what you want. I thank you for the night. Maybe as we now go on the day campaign, you'll be hearing from me, because what we are doing now is online discussion, which has to be followed on. There's a lot of other work. It's not going to be easy. There's a lot of work. Politics have now changed totally in Nigeria. Today I was in Anambra State, and I moved around Anambra State. And if I give you examples of what they were saying, even while I was in Onitsha, there was in Oka, I was in Onitsha. And pretty the same thing they're telling me in Oka market is what they're telling me in Onitsha market about the campaign and everything, what is happening and what is not happening. I think we have now turned campaign into everybody is waiting to pay for votes. So people are not as aggressive as it should be, and that's where we must return it to. On issues, let's go back to discuss issues, and document those issues people are telling you people. And this must border on the critical area of measurable, visible area that the person who says, I'm going to do this, whether it's our own candidate or not, that we know this person said it, so that tomorrow we can judge them on what they say they will do. So thank you for your time. Mine is just to come in and say thank you. That's all I'm participating in, to say thank you to you people for this meeting. Thank you. God bless all of you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it from our great leader, a great motivator, a person who always talked about democracy in a different light. For a very long time, we've not gotten an individual who have shown resilience, who have shown doggedness, who is also trying to change the face of our democracy from kind of thuggery, stealing, buying of votes to real politics that concerns every one of us. So if he, who is comfortable as an individual, he can take care of his day and day-to-day life, yet he's coming out to sacrifice, to say, look, this politics must change to the interest of the Nigerian people as number one priority. Then what about those of us who have been at the background and the receiving end of the decay in the system? Would you continue to wallow in the decay system or actually join him in finding solution and salvage what is remaining of this country? So thank you very much, Your Excellency. We remain resolute, we remain determined, we will continue to champion this particular cause and will continue to change the narrative. Thank you. God bless you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the awesome voice of His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, inshallah.
Outcomes that you created in Anambra State when you govern Anambra State. So we look forward to the campaign, because beyond the Twitter space,